Hi, my name is Mackenzie Kosut, and I come from over 20 years of working in information technology. I left the enterprise world of Viacom back in 2011 to join Tumblr as an early engineer. After Tumblr sold to Yahoo for $1.1 billion, I joined Oscar Health as a founding engineer. Oscar is a startup fixing a broken health insurance system based in the US, currently valued north of $3.2 billion. At Oscar, I ran many of the engineering teams, including infrastructure, database, security, and IT. After leaving Oscar, I ran technical operations at Betterment, where I managed teams to help build the world's largest independent robo-advisor. I share my background because I'm just one of the many members of the startup team here at Amazon with extensive startup experience who's interested in sharing my knowledge and expertise with you. For over 14 years, startups overwhelmingly prefer to build on AWS, and they do it for a number of reasons. First, we understand startups, and we know what their challenges are. In fact, we started as a startup back in 1996 and continue to operate like one today. We've helped the largest startups in the world and continue to help the next wave of entrepreneurs. We have a dedicated startup business team who's comprised of exited startup founders, former investors, and startup executives. The team works closely with all the top VCs, accelerators, and incubators around the globe. These are startup experts who understand developing business plans, approaches to user acquisition, marketing at early stages, effective hiring at the early stage, what a good pitch deck looks like, and more. They are some of the many startup experts here at AWS dedicated to helping you and your company. Second, we have developed a number of programs here at Amazon to help you engage not just the millions of customers on AWS, but also the millions of shoppers on Amazon.com. Programs to help tap into marketplaces, partner networks, credits, business support, and more, which I'll tell you about shortly. And third, startups choose AWS because we offer the broadest technical capability. The tech we provide gives startups an advantage in a market where they believe their ideas and speed of execution will give them an advantage over competitors. Today, with having access to over 190 services, no idea is too big for an early stage team to tackle. Whether you're processing billions of events a day or ingesting data from satellites using AWS Ground Station, or perhaps you're deploying millions of IoT devices into the farming industry with AWS IoT. These services all let you go from idea to market in record time. Let's talk about the technology. The way startups compete today is on the quickest time to market, keeping your costs low, and continuing to innovate on behalf of your customer. With the pay-as-you-go pricing of AWS, startups no longer have to estimate how much compute power they need to run their business. They're able to scale up and down their infrastructure with the demand of their users. This helps keep the overall cost of running infrastructure cheap. Second of all, you're able to launch much faster because you're able to leverage the over 190 services that help you piece together these primitive building blocks to tackle any sort of challenge. Third, because you're building on top of these primitive building blocks and you're doing it at such a low cost, you're able to conduct more experiments. And these experimentations will help you find new ways to delight your own customers. Most importantly, this lets you focus on what's important, building a better product to delight your customers. I mentioned in order to be competitive and to move quickly enough to get first mover advantage or compete against first movers, you need to be leveraging the latest tech. We work closely with companies of all sizes to continue to innovate on their behalf. We work to understand what the biggest obstacles organizations face when developing their products, and we build services to help solve them. Every time we create a new service, whether it's for a large Fortune 500 company or an upcoming startup, all of our customers get access to that new capability at the same time. This means that the small startups can build the exact same technology that the world's largest Fortune 500 companies use. AWS has completely leveled the playing field and lowered the barrier of entry for startups to compete in industries which traditionally may have been nearly impossible to enter. What's also very unique about AWS is the pace at which we put these new capabilities into your hands. On average, we release more than 5 new services and features each and every day. And while you can't predict what challenges you may face in the future or how your company may have to pivot, you can be assured we're constantly working on providing solutions, so they'll be there when you need them. The challenge you face may be new to your early stage company, but it's likely we've already helped companies in the past solve similar ones. That's how we've developed the broadest and deepest cloud platform available today. So whether you're looking to create and run virtual reality or augmented reality apps quickly and easily using Sumerian, or perhaps you want to ingest, buffer, and process streaming data in real time so you can derive insights in seconds with Kinesis. These services all provide the building blocks to build in any imaginable industry. Of course, machine learning and AI are a big topic as data continues to play a more important role in how companies compete. We have a wide range of offerings from core compute for the advanced data scientists all the way to entire machine learning environments like SageMaker that make it easy to build, train, and deploy machine learning models. If you don't have any machine learning experience, you can tap into one of the many AI services that will help your product hear, speak, translate, comprehend, and make predictions with simple API calls. Often I get asked at what stage should a startup begin adopting machine learning? If you asked this question years ago, the answer would be very different. Our mission of putting machine learning into the hands of every developer has shifted this capability into the hands of even the most scrappiest of startups. To understand why this is important, you need to understand how the competitive landscape has changed over the recent years. It used to be that companies competed on technology. The companies with the best tech had the advantage. Today, companies are competing on the data. These companies are using data to better understand their customers' behaviors, personalize their experience, and make predictions on their future intentions. As a startup, one of your biggest priorities is attracting and retaining new users to help grow your business. Here's a statistic that may help drive home the importance of data even in the early stage. Harvard Business Review identified that the cost to acquire a new user is 5 to 25 times more expensive than retaining your current ones. So there's many ways you can retain your current customers. And a few of those ways are, for example, using Amazon Forecast to look at historical data and understand demands to make sure your inventory is in stock or to make predictions on future user intentions and behaviors. The second is perhaps using Amazon Recommendation. This will allow you to use personal recommendation engines to make suggestions to users at the right times. This will allow you to customize the user experience for each and every user on your site. Or perhaps you want to start leveraging one of the many AI services I spoke about earlier. A good example of a company doing this is a startup called Artfinder out of London. Artfinder is a platform that lets people buy artwork and make it easy to find and search for the next piece of artwork they want to purchase. When Recognition came out, they decided to prototype and test using out this service to start categorizing and classifying the images within their collection. They tested this in about 4 hours, and within less than a week had this out into production. It was such an easy addition and created so much value for their customers that it ended up making the local press within the independent newspaper. You can see quoted here. So again, you don't need a massive team to start leveraging either AI or machine learning. We have a wide range of tools that will match whatever tool set or experience you have within your own team. So all of these new services over the last 14 years have had a big impact on how businesses operate today. When we began in 2006, we could have never predicted just how much this would change the IT landscape. Today, millions of companies are building on top of AWS. What we also couldn't predict is the direct impact AWS was going to have on the startup ecosystem. Reports show that the average cost to launch a startup before AWS existed was around $500,000 US. That's a lot of money just to test an idea. That's $500,000 US, and most of it is going towards data centers and teams that manage it. By 2010, with the rapid adoption of services like EC2, RDS, S3, and CloudFront, the cost to launch dropped dramatically. We started seeing startups going to market for less than $50,000 US. Today, in 2020, we're seeing startups launch for just a few $1,000s. These are startups who are able to keep their operational costs so low that some companies stay completely bootstrapped, never needing to take funding. I've talked to startups who have become profitable in less than a year and who are running everything as a one-person shop. These are companies that have millions of customers. If they tried to build these businesses years ago, it just would not be possible. AWS has helped enable more small businesses and startups build with less. Startups like Uphill out of New York City. This is a one-person startup that built essentially the kayak for ground transportation. Uphill is used by millions of users to compare prices on Uber, Lyft, taxis, carpools, scooters, bike shares, public transit, and more. It's been featured in a variety of publications, including Mashable's Most Useful Web Tools, VentureBeat, Gizmodo, Entrepreneur, and Fox News. Uphill was founded by one person and still operates with one employee. The founder, Avi, built this at the AWS loft in New York City, much like the one here in Tokyo. The initial version of Uphill scaled poorly and was subject to frequent outages. At the time, Avi knew very little about well-architected web applications. That changed after attending the workshops and boot camps offered at the AWS loft. With the guidance of the experts at the Ask an Architect bar, Avi redesigned their application using a traditional three-tier architecture. Of course, the resilience of the application and performance improved significantly, and they now have the proper monitoring and alerting tools in place to preemptively minimize their downtime. As they evolve, they've come to build the next iteration of the application on top of a serverless architecture, with the goal of minimizing costs and reducing infrastructure management overhead. This allows them to focus time and efforts, again, on what matters, improving the product for their users, and not spending their time managing servers. What I love about this story is here's an individual building a product serving millions of users, and he's doing it completely bootstrapped. He's doing it because he's leveraging the resources and education available from AWS. Today, you're able to do more than you could just a few years ago. It's examples like Uphill which demonstrate how AWS has changed not just how startups are building, but also the strategy and how VCs are investing. There are also a large number of GitHub projects related to AWS. Some of our startups contribute a great deal of their own open source projects back to the community. Examples of this are Airbnb's Airflow platform to programmatically author, schedule, and monitor data pipelines. Or companies like Segment, who publish their entire Terraform configs to let you stand up the same enterprise-grade ECS infrastructure that their own teams run on. With such a large community, it's going to be much easier to make the right technical hires for your company. It's easier to find developers and engineers who are familiar with AWS and who are going to be excited to start using our new services to help develop your next product. Let's talk about some of the programs to help. When you're getting ready to secure funding, you'll learn quickly that investors want to do technical due diligence to make sure you've made the right technical decisions to deliver on your vision. You'll need to be prepared to present and describe your technical decisions, documentation, plans for scaling, and performance indicators. They may also want to know how your technology and product compares to similar competitors. They'll want to understand your underlying infrastructure, what databases, programming languages, and tools you're using to make your products. This may sound intimidating at first, but remember, we've helped thousands of companies go through this. In fact, we've taken this knowledge and best practice and have turned it into a self-service tool to help you prepare for these inquiries. The well-architected framework has been developed to help you build secure, high-performing, resilient, and efficient infrastructure for your application. It's based on 5 pillars: operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, and cost optimization. The framework provides a consistent approach for you to evaluate architectures and implement designs that will scale over time. Going through the self-service guide will not only make sure you are building in the right direction, but that you are prepared for technical due diligence of the most scrupulous VC. You can also learn more about the AWS well-architected framework by taking the self-paced training that provides pillar-specific design principles and examples of AWS best practices. It's a short course that takes about an hour to go through, but will potentially save you a large amount of time and money in the long run. Often, startups building in the B2B space ask us how we can help them tap into the millions of customers on AWS today. One way to do this is through our marketplace, which is used by over 140,000 customers each and every day. The marketplace is a managed and curated software catalog with a storefront that helps customers make it easy to discover, evaluate, procure, and immediately deploy third-party software. Customers can quickly deploy pre-configured software solutions in a number of deployment modes, such as AMIs, SaaS, and desktop software. We at AWS will handle all the billing for you, so you can deploy your B2B solution and focus on iterating your product. This is a program to help you create market impact quickly by accelerating your go-to-market approach. For any startup, getting discovered is a critical path to growth. By providing sales, marketing, and PR support, we help startups create product awareness among our AWS users in the marketplace. We bring your brand story to life with dedicated product showcase pages, content, and messaging. We use your startup's unique story to connect with customers on a global scale. For those who are looking for investment from Amazon, one place to look at is the Amazon Alexa Fund. We've set up the Alexa Fund to fund up to $200 million in venture capital funding to fuel voice technology innovation for developers, device makers, and companies. Companies that receive funding through this include Ring, June, Control Labs, and Ecobee. The Alexa Fund is focused on how voice technology can improve customers' lives, from early-stage pre-revenue companies that are just starting out to established, globally recognized brands. Areas of particular interest are hardware products for inside the home or outside the home or on the go that would benefit from the Alexa voice service, skills that deliver new abilities to Alexa-enabled devices through Alexa Skills Kit, or new contributions to the science behind voice technology, including text-to-speech, natural language understanding, automatic speech recognition, artificial intelligence, and hardware component design. Voice technology startups will not only receive funding should they be chosen, but they will also gain early access to SDK capabilities, receive hands-on development and marketing support, and have a chance to be showcased at Amazon events around the world. The last program I have time to talk about is our AWS Activate program. Our teams work with accelerators, incubators, seed funds, and other early-stage investors to provide support at the earliest stages. Mainly, we do this through the AWS Activate program. If you are a portfolio company of one of these participating organizations we work with, you can have access to AWS resources that will help you scale, including promotional credits for your AWS usage, business support, which gives you access to technical support, AWS Self-Lab credits for training on AWS, office hours with an AWS Solution Architect, and a chance to be featured on one of the many AWS startup marketing channels. All of these companies you saw on the slide earlier have gone through Activate. It's a program you should be aware of and something to work towards when it's time to take on your first round of funding. It'll help you grow your business when you begin to hit that growth stage. However, it's not a program you should apply for in the pre-funded stages, as it will become more valuable when you start to face larger scaling challenges. I hope this primer on AWS and startups helps you make the right early stage decisions to give your startup the best chance at succeeding. Remember, we've been helping startups for the last 14 years, and we want to take this knowledge and share it with you. This is also just the start of a long-lasting relationship between you and your business. Our resources, summits, startup days, blog posts, workshops, training, videos, and more are all here to help you. We enjoy helping startups work through challenges they face, and we're excited to partner with you to take you and your idea to where you envision it. Let us know how we can help and what we can be doing more of. I'll leave a collection of resources here to make it easier for you to research additional information. They will be available in the slides. I've also added some bonus resources into this list that we did not have time to cover today. I want to thank you for joining and hope you enjoy the upcoming sessions that we've prepared for you. I'm always available, so if you have a question, feel free to reach out with a direct message to me on Twitter or on LinkedIn. Now, it's time to go build. Thank you.